So right here you can see I have not played AC1 or AC Shadows. And I think this is Chronicles or something. I don't know. Um, but AS, etc. Um, let's start with the one I pretty much started with this journey of Assassin's Creed. But this is pretty much a tier list that so far how far I played the Assassin's Creed games. Um, let's start with Assassin's Creed 2. Um, this game, there's so many things I could say about AC2. It is a This is what made Assassin's Creed for a lot of people. Maybe for some people AC1 was the perfect start, but I think everybody became an Assassin's Creed fan once AC2 hit. So once I played it, I actually had a really good time. I did took like a break here and there because I wasn't feeling it, but once I got like came back after I finished like other PlayStation games, I actually will say this is S tier. Come on. There's not really anything I can add is probably pointless. This is an S tier Assassin's Creed game. This is one of the best video games that came out for a lot of people. But yeah, like Ezio's story was perfect. The voice acting was good. Um, it was back when the modern day wasn't awful, like wasn't confusing awful, but you are kind of like you pretty get excited what comes next with the story, even in the modern day. There's just again like I can list so many things what makes this game good that I think someone pretty much said what is said already. There's just there's just so many that I can say. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. This originally I believe this game was supposed to be just DLC for Assassin's Creed 2, I believe. And I also had a blast playing this. I bet some people will say A tier, but I think S tier because for me, this is just so much fun. I'm going on what's fun in the Assassin's Creed games. Like, did I had fun? What was not fun? It's just this game just it took what I did not like in Assassin's Creed 2 that much, where there was like too many cities. I wish it was just one big map, and that's what Brotherhood gave me. And I actually did like Brotherhood so much that I think Brotherhood finally got me. I think Brotherhood is when I finally got into Assassin's Creed. I there's just again just same with Assassin's Creed 2. There's a lot to say. The only thing that does hurt Brotherhood is the main villain from the last game. You didn't kill him, but in Brotherhood he gets killed anyway. Okay. Like, it's just off. Revelations, the third to the last, the third story of Ezio. I didn't like it that much. I think it's the story pretty much made it A tier for me, but Revelations was I did not like the map, but the hook blade, I think that made everything a lot more fun. It made a lot of things fun for I feel like for me and a lot of people. The hook blade was really good, and I kind of wish every Assassin's Creed has that. It was just like, oh, you just get a boost, like you can just jump extra high. I don't remember much of the hook blade, but it was, I think, one of the best things that came out. And then you play as Altair. I never This is pretty much my first introduction to Altair, and he was pretty dang cool. And that scene where Ezio talks to Desmond was probably the most legendary because you got Altair, who was from the past, dead. Ezio, who was pretty much the present around that cutscene, the present, and Desmond. and he's talking to the future assassin. It's just so cool. Just these three, just three assassins that were from a different time is so cool. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Revelations and Assassin's Creed 3. I think this is where, oh, I do like 3 a lot. Um, this one is kind of tough. I could put it at B is pretty okay. I'm just gonna put it here and just talk about it until I finally make up my mind. Uh, this game, I the ending was originally this game was supposed to be the last Assassin's Creed that we'll probably ever gotten, but I believe like one of the main dudes who created Assassin's Creed left Ubisoft because of them releasing Brotherhood and Revelations, and I believe we probably could have got a completely different Assassin's Creed 3 if they didn't release these two games. I do like the time period it is in because I am an American. Shocker. Uh, but this one is, it's just, I think B is really a comfortable place because, oh yeah, Liberation's right here. I should probably do that. But 3, the story was good. Connor was a really, really good pro tag, even though he's kind of like he's like just a somewhat recycled because he's going after revenge of the guy who pretty much burned down his village and killed his mom. But the prologue, the beginning, where you play as, if I remember, was it Hytham? You played as him? Hatham? I think it's Hatham. Yeah, Hatham Kenway was you went to believe, oh, I was just another assassin. Turns out you're not. You were a Templar, and I think that was a perfect twist, and pretty much got like, oh, that's so cool. I was playing a Templar. I was playing the villain this entire time. I feel like was so cool, and I believe you also had like double swords in this. I could be wrong. Like I believe you have the ability to hold double weapons around that, and I think they added parry. This did came out around the Wii U, and pretty much like it's like on the gamepad was just the inventory of what you can use. But there's a lot of things in 3 that I do like. The story is, well, like kind of like another revenge story, but um once you meet like your Hatham Kenway again later in the story, when you as playing Connor, was actually just like a really exciting experience because you're a grown up Connor meeting your father for the first time, who's pretty much the villain of your story. You do later on like kill him, and it was kind of like a heartbreaking scene. But yeah, there's the scene where I think the dude who sent like an order to the guy who sent an order, you meeting George Washington, and I feel like your character, I don't know, there's just like you meet George Washington. It was so cool. And of course, you got the little DLC of King George Washington, which was in the remaster of it. I played that DLC. That was like pretty much like I think the only DLC that I've played so far. Actually, no, Freedom Cry's right there, and Freedom Cry's basic DLC for Assassin's Creed 4. But that was just a really fun DLC. I could have just skipped that DLC entirely, but I want to experience everything that 3 had to offer. Um, yeah. I think B will be a pretty good base. It's not a C, but it's a B. But it's not an A. It's not an A. I'm gonna talk about more of Liberation. I tried to play this game. My PlayStation keeps crashing, so I'm gonna probably put it in the I have not like fully played yet. I could play it, but I don't want to go through the hustle of my PlayStation crashing 50 freaking times. It's just nah. Um, what was next? Assassin's Creed 4. I kind of want to put this up to S plus tier. I think this game is probably the most hours I put into an Assassin's Creed game. Black Flag, I think for some people this is where Assassin's Creed somewhat kind of went off the edge, but this game was good. The pirates, becoming a pirate, and uh, Edward Kenway was not like the other assassins. He's like, oh, I have to go after revenge. Nah, he's just doing it for the money. He pretended to be an assassin, but then later on in the game, he did decide to become somewhat of an assassin. It's just so cool to have like a pirate who pretty much was thrown into the assassin and Templar conflict. I think it was just one of the cool, and I think Edward Kenway's story was just really, really good. I think he's pretty much one of the pro tags that I like. And the sea shanties. Oh, I love the sea shanties. Every time I see them on the map, those are the first things I'm gonna collect. Those are the first things I'm gonna collect and grab them, listen what the new song is, and sing along because oh my gosh, the sea shanties were peak, and they pretty much reused them in Freedom Cry. Freedom Cry, it's a good expansion, but on its own, I think it's more of a C tier type game. I can argue D tier. It's just not. I'm gonna probably put a C tier. It's just not. It's just like it's just a neat expansion, but on its own, it is a really really short story. But I think it's pretty much more of like a oh you played Assassin's Creed Black Flag so much that when you die, because for some reason I dive into this force then Assassin's Creed 4, and so yeah, that's probably why I probably put it lower because it's like oh I played this one first. I did had some good stuff. I think in our pro tag is like our first black protagonist we played in the Assassin's Creed, and I liked him. He was pretty cool. I do not remember his name though, but it was just short, simple little story. It's just short, simple. What's next? Assassin's Creed Rogue. I'm just gonna put it here just to keep talking about it. Um, Assassin's Creed Rogue. I actually like this more than Freedom Cry. I'm probably just gonna put it over here. It's above Freedom Cry. I don't think it's up the levels of next to Assassin's Creed 3. Rogue, what's interesting about Rogue, this game released the same day as Unity, and this is a perfect game. After you finish Rogue, into Unity, it's just like they connect really well, and this is the first and only Assassin's Creed that you play as a full-on Templar. You play it as an assassin in the beginning of Connor's. Is it Connor's? What's his name? What's his name? I love his voice so much. Shay Patrick. Yeah, Shay Patrick. Oh, I love him. I think I do like Shay a lot, and I think that's what makes him really cool. The only thing that was kind of weird is the assassins, because this is a prequel to 3, and I believe Liberation's in the exact same time event. So I think this one is way before what 3 happens, the events of 3, because you do meet Haytham Kenway later on in the story, and it was really cool. Because again, playing as a Templar, I think was really cool, and once you have to fight your fellow assassins are also cool because you have to like learn other tricks to outthink the assassins. Like, oh, they're probably gonna hide in this bush, etc. It's just so cool. But once you like mess up and an assassin, you just get a lot of damage dealt off. Like once an assassin comes out of the bush, stabs you, it's just like, oh, come on, and you lose so much health too. I like this game a lot. I actually do like Rogue a lot. I'm probably gonna put it up to B tier. I really like, and I'll probably nah. 3 is probably still slightly better on the row. It's not ahead, but Rogue. There's so many things to say about Rogue. Sure, it's another Assassin's Creed 4, but I think that's what makes it good. It's just hey, I love Assassin's Creed 4. If you give me another game that is just like it, but now I'm as a Templar, sure, why not? Assassin's Creed Unity, done. That is instantly, I will argue. Um, I can argue two games. There we go. This is pretty much my list right here. Unity? Oh my gosh. I think Unity is where peak Assassin's Creed came in. Sure, I did look into how the game was made. This game, Unity had a horrible launch, but I think that's what makes. But once you play the game as the developers attended it, this game is something else. The graphics, the setting you were put in, uh, go on to Paris, France. Hmm. I really like, even though a lot of people complain that Arno's just like Ezio, but here's the thing about Arno. He has one girl in his life that he chased after. Meanwhile, Ezio, like, every time he sees a girl, I don't think Ezio gives a shit if that woman's in the Templar Order. He's gonna find a way to get that lady to fall in love with him. Meanwhile, Arno, the woman he fell in love with was a Templar and did not care. Just kept chasing her, missed every freaking shot, and that ending was kind of soul crushing because you do feel bad with Arno later in the game that he was just. The only thing I did not like is Arnold didn't really chase after his what his regular father's death was, because I really want him to meet Shay very much. I feel like that'd be really cool to see is Shay meeting Arno for the first time. I know we'll add like another revenge story, and this was kind of not really a revenge story often that much, but I think in the park, but the gameplay on its own, I think is where this game, they decide to add not just free run, but full on free run up and free run down, and this is where the parkour pretty much succeeds so much. The park you can like go on YouTube right now, watch clips of people parkouring, probably for an hour, and be really impressed. And don't worry, we will get to Mirage. We'll get to Mirage's parkour, but I feel like Unity is where the parkour is really good. Next, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Oof. This is not peak. I feel like this does dumble down, not as tier note. I think B, C. I'll probably put it C. Syndicate has a really good setting it is in. You're in London now of the and I believe the where it takes it's like the Industrial Revolution. I believe I could be totally wrong, but this Assassin's Creed game, the parkour is good, has the great same parkour mechanics as Unity, but the grappling hook pretty much ruined what the parkour is. That pretty much it made the playground of the assassins of London kind of hurts the parkour that every building is so freaking spread out, and pretty much 90% of the time you're using the grappling hook. It is a cool device to use to go up a building really quick just to save time, but once you have to use it for like stealth or either like running away or getting to your next objective, but make sure you're on the high ground so you won't be seen as much, it's just really bad that the grappling hook just ruins everything that would make the game. If I feel like if you remove the grappling hook, I feel like this game could potentially be right here, but it's not. All right, now we are on the three of Assassin's Creed Witcher-like games. Origins, I'll probably put this at B tier. I didn't replay it, but I do remember some. The voice acting, I think A tier will probably work. because the voice acting in this is probably the best voice acting. Bayek is a really good pro tag, even though it's another revenge story. I feel like a lot of people will probably give this game a chance, like to go replay it, but I do hate how long it is. And yeah, it is another revenge story, but I feel like there are so many activities to do. But once you do like your third, fourth, like, or maybe your 20th side mission, it does get really repetitive later on. But I feel like this game is really good. All right, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is just how I feel. I'd rather play these games more. I'll probably play Origins more, honestly. I would rather play Origins instead of Odyssey. Odyssey was just not an Assassin's Creed game for me. I feel like it was too focused on the combat. I'm looking at you, Valhalla. um, I feel like it sucks that the ability, like, you have to like max out your assassin level just to do good damage, and I feel like depending on it does add a lot of play styles into it that I'm probably just gonna remove that. It just doesn't make, I don't know. Odyssey for me is just not a good Assassin's Creed game. The It is a really beautiful game, but I don't know. There's just something about like Odyssey that I do not. Oh yeah, I remember now. Odyssey's story, I kind of think it sucks. I think it is one of the messiest stories out of all the Assassin's Creed games. Like literally, I just feel like the story in Assassin's Creed Odyssey was just so like all over the place. And the prologue was really long. I do hate how long it was, and I did not could do not care. I did not care to do the side content in that game. Valhalla, gameplay wise, fun game. Story, there's gods in it now. I do think this is better. I probably have to rearrange this list a bit better. I'm probably just gonna put it at C. I hated once I got to like because it's like 40 hours to beat the main story. And once I got to like my 20th, 30th hour in the game, I wanted to be done. I felt this game did came again. This game came out when the pandemic hit, and there was so much content in this game that heck, even I think people who go for platinums on PlayStation are pretty much like, oh my gosh, this game is so freaking long and has so much content. There's like what, like 20, like 5,000 collectibles in the game for like armors, weapons, etc. But I think what makes this game good, that I feel like what makes Odyssey kind of bad in my eyes, is the combat. The combat I feel like is a lot more better than Odyssey's, but it still has the, oh, if enemy glows in a certain color, parry that, but if it glows fully red, dodge. But I do feel like the combat is a little bit more difficult than Odyssey, because the parry timing in Odyssey is just like really freaking easy, because it's like Sonic Frontiers level of parrying that you don't have to hold it. I feel like you're in that animation for a good while, and you can pretty much almost parry every enemy attack in Odyssey. Meanwhile, in this game, there are some attacks that you won't see coming because there are like other colors that you can parry except red. I don't know. I feel like the combat was actually pretty dang challenging in this. And this is the first game you get introduced to Bison. You do get introduced to Hytham, another character. Um, Also I do feel like the introductions to the hidden ones are a bit like, yeah, Bison was his name. This is where you meet, and it does add like some spoilers in Mirage, even when you're before starting. But if you just play Mirage as your first Assassin's Creed, you have no idea what the hell is going on. But I think Valhalla, I think for some people it can be an A tier game or a B tier game, but I think C tier for me. Mirage, I actually have a good time with it, that I'll probably argue A tier. Even though I just recently finished it, when recording this, I feel like this is one of the better, like, but I feel like that's what a little mate like pretty much destroys this game is the parkour is so bad. But yeah, Mirage's parkour I feel like pretty much boost every game up, like boost every game up. But it does have like the same problem as Valhalla and Odyssey. But I just love the stealth. But yeah, the parkour is really bad. But I'll say this: graphic wise, this game's at the peak level. But I just did not like the gameplay of Valhalla. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it on the tier list.